All right, I'd like to introduce Larry Brandstetter. He is one of our members. He's very active and with his work. I shake every time I hold an X-Acto knife, so good luck.
Yeah, hopefully I don't tonight.
Don't do it, no accidents. And welcome, Larry.
Thank you. Well, thank you for letting me visit tonight. It's so nice to see so many friends and friendly faces. And those of you that don't know me or don't know what I do, like Noel said, my name is Larry Brandstetter. I do whimsical and very positive artwork. My specialty is intricate ink drawings and collages. So within the next 3.5 hours, if you have any questions, but a long time ago, when I was about 6 years old, my aunt was a special education teacher. She had a creative way of looking at the world, and I like to think that a lot of that rubbed off on me. It's reflective in my artwork, I'm sure. But she asked me to draw a house. So you can imagine what a 6-year-old kid, how the house looks like. And then she asked me, so I did. And so she asked me to draw a couple more, and I did. And I drew a whole page of these houses. And then I drew a whole lot more. There's hundreds and hundreds of houses. This is Riverfront Stew. I created it in 1970, and I liked it so much I deemed it a series. These houses are pretty much foundation and representative of my artwork. You'll see them in just about every piece that I do. And I consider it fill work because my objective is to fill the space or to fill the page as much as I can. What I'm going to show, these panels are prints of the framed originals. So they're, but I did this about 10 years ago. But I started in 1970, I'm more sophisticated now with this. I got more darks and lights, a lot more flows. In this particular one, there's 3 giraffes. And if it's on display, and there's adults looking at it, I'll say that there's 3 giraffes and we're scratching our heads, shrugging our shoulders. You tell little kids that there's 3 giraffes and they go immediately right to them. So it's amazing how the little minds work. But before I get into doing a demo of the collages, fasten your seatbelts. This is my latest pen and ink drawing. It's called Foxtown. And of course I have the houses. I have a fox in the city where the houses are all on the fox, all around them, the undulations of the horizon lines, little towns on top of that, little characters, whimsical little characters, scribbles. These trees are a lot of fun to draw. They're baobab trees that are indigenous to Africa. I like drawing because they're a little stubby. But this, and I try to inject something that makes you smile or some sort of a positive message. This one says, all is perfect in Foxtown, ... And then the chickens showed up. And there's a bunch of chickens right there. But years ago, I was at a show, and I was standing in front of a collage. And it was big, massive, colorful, abstract, and it was absolutely beautiful. And I said, this is something that I want to do. So Larry, paper, scissors, I got my materials, and I got scrap paper and just everything I thought I needed. And I started to do this collage. And I quickly discovered that my collages end up looking like the way I draw. This is called In the Neighborhood. And it's one of the papers touted it as being a tribute to Mr. Rogers, which it is. But there's a lot of like little neighborhood houses in there. And what stimulated that Riverfront Stew or these kind of houses is, say for instance, driving down the Parkway East, going towards town, and you see off to the left is South Side Slopes. Now this is 1970. This is before they called it the slopes or the flats. And that's probably what was the inspiration. But it's just about any city neighborhood. So let me get into starting this collage. Here's one that I had here at at one of the shows. I think it was the Christmas show. And it ended up selling, and it's living in a home in Baltimore. A lady from Baltimore bought it. So I started without you. What I did, to put it simply, I made a sky, and in the ground, which is this paper. This paper is from like Michael's or Michael's. Ollie's had this. They're probably half the price, but they have those pages of this kind of material or papers. One of my best compliments that I ever had is some kid came to me and he says, "Oh, you're the guy that does scrapbooking." I like that. I like that a lot. So, and then the sky is an acrylic ink. Now I wore this one out, so I put water inside and I made this powder blue. And in addition to, I put iridescent ink over top of it. Now I actually won these in an ink competition event, ink challenge, and it was an international event, and there was about 1,000 entries, and they didn't do first, second, third place winners. They did top 5. I ended up getting one of the top 5. And in a particular drawing, I don't have it with me, it's a pen and ink, and it's Greenback Mackerel is the name. It was a ship captain with the steering wheel and all his oarsmen and all the little characters and scribbles and doodles and everything, and it ended up winning. They sent me $500 worth of ink-related products, and I have 4 6-packs of these, and I use a Micron pen. These little Micron pens, you're probably familiar with them if you draw. Micron pens. I got so many of them, I have to put them in my will. So, but I'm using them up. So what I do, I have this. When anybody does cursive, I tell people that cursive writing is an art. It's a reflective of your personality. And my father-in-law had a field journal, and I ended up with this field journal. It's just a book of cursive handwriting. So what I do is take oil pastels and rub it on top of it. And what I do is end up creating the ground, the undulations of the ground, and I'll do something that I know, which are the houses. You're in for a treat. And these are the material. This is my tools. The adult-sized scissors and paintbrush. The paintbrushes are from a dollar store. This is probably my 4th brush in 10 years. They clean up really well. I've accidentally left, and what I use is Mod Podge. I've accidentally let Mod Podge harden overnight, and the stuff comes off once I soak it. And X-Acto knife, that's what it is, Mod Podge. And I use a flat finish. Real nice even flat finish. But I just paint on simply this. It goes a lot quicker than this. I'm like a speed demon with this stuff. Precision collaging. So my history, I attended Ivy School of Art, and I graduated in 1972 with a degree in graphic arts. Ivy, among other things, taught me a great sense of design. They didn't teach me, you see how I draw, they didn't teach me how to draw, they taught me how to design with the way I draw. While I was at Ivy, I discovered my first ink pen, and that was a rapidograph. Are you familiar with a rapidograph? It's a technical pen, and it takes a lot of maintenance. There's a reservoir, and if you're not active with the rapidograph pen, it dries out, and it's a lot of maintenance, and you have to keep them active. I had a set of all different size tips if you wanted to change colors. Good example, Jack Pugliese is a pen. He doesn't use rapidograph anymore. He uses microns. But I was glad I discovered these microns. They're about $4 a piece, archival ink, and you go a long way with it. What's up? This one is called cul-de-sac. Somebody famous once said it gave her vertigo. No L. And it's just a continuous, and you can see all the houses. I started doing this reverse out, like the shadows of the city in the background. This one ended up selling, like I said, is living in a nice home in Baltimore. This one is Brightly Whispered. It's a great performer for me. It's 30, the original is 30 by 40. And the little blurb, the little saying underneath it is, the sun showed up again today, looked down, and brightly whispered, I'll give you another try. This guy is all musical notes, and a lot of elements go into these collages. So I worked as a art director, just working in the artist industry, was real active in the art community in Pittsburgh. You mentioned PSA. I was a member of Pittsburgh Society of Artists back then. And interesting, I went to a new member show when I got re-screened in 10 years ago. And at the break, they had memorabilia on the table. And so I went over and was looking around. There was a brochure from 1974, and my name was in it. It was awesome. But these are some of the materials that I use. Now, I don't want to encourage anything, but these are stolen free sample paint chips from the big box store. I didn't say anything. When my wife Patty and I walk at the mall, they have a little kiosk for a vacation thing, and it's pink paper. It's kind of cool. I like it. So I'll cut out little shapes for the houses. Any questions?
Larry, the wrong word is stolen. The right word is liberated.
I like it.
You liberated
I'm gonna have,
from Home Depot. Yes.
I'm from the city. I like stolen.
Upcycle.
Yeah, upcycle. Upcycle. Okay, here's where the knife comes in. Watch that.
Larry, I have a question.
So
Do you have a grand plan where you know where you're going, or are you making it up along the way?
to some degree, I have a main subject. I'll have a main subject, and then I'll work around it. And the doodles and the scribbles and everything in the houses and the little people flying through the air, that kind of thing follow after I get the main character, like that Foxtown thing, that drawing. Simply this, Mod Podge.
So you don't start out with like a sketch?
No. Fly by the seat of my pants.
You didn't think, oh, I'm going to use a fox.
What's that?
You decided the fox at the end?
No, I did the fox first.
Okay.
I do the main subject.
Okay.
Like I said, that one drawing where there was a ship's captain, the ship's captain with the steering wheel. I started with that, and then I worked around it. But the musical notes, my childhood stamp collection is in here. Now I Googled it. They're worth more on here than here. Currently, this is going to be featured at the Westmoreland Art Nationals at both venues, at the community college and at the festival.
Larry, can you hold it up closer a little bit, Tess, because the light's there.
Is that better?
That's better, yeah.
Okay. And you're welcome to take a look at these afterwards, get a closer look. Oh, here's a good one. Uh-oh. This one's called Magic Piano. A lot of my stamps are in here, but it was a song that Sesame Street plays, and I think it's like 1, 2, 3, 4, tell me that you love me more. And you can't see it on this print, but the son has Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young little blurb, and it says, "Looking through the world through the sunset in your eyes." I don't know if you're old enough to know that song. And yeah, and then sweeping cobwebs from the edges of your mind. Oh boy, kids of the '60s. But okay, and then I'll do the roof, and I go through like fashion catalogs that Patty discards, and they make great roofs. Now, I get a whole box of these little schnipples and stuff like that, and I call it confetti. Look how cool. And I found a UPC code in a parking lot coming in here. Everybody's a victim. I mean, everybody's eligible. But the Magic Piano, that collage there, was just featured at Brand New Mansion in Granville, Ohio, right outside of Columbus. Granville is a little college town. Denison College is there. And I had posted a photo of me holding this piece, and I sent out an invitation to another exhibit. I'm going to call him a collector because he bought another piece. A collector saw it and said, "I want to buy that." So he ended up buying it. And I delivered the piece because I play tennis up the street from his house, and I delivered the piece. When you walk in, he eliminated walls in his house, and it's just one piece after another. One of the masters is Rodo Boulanger, the artist that does big heads. But it's just artwork all over the place. So I'm really flattered that he took that. It's a nice piece.
What kind of paper do you use?
Everything. In here, I found this is real nice, rigid cardboard. And it seems to hold up to the Mod Podge. Now, early on, I used Elmer's glue, and the Elmer's glue. We good? The Elmer's glue ended up having too much water in it, and it buckled the paper and everything.
Did you ever try pastel board?
What kind?
Pastel board?
Pastel board?
Yeah, it's like thicker. It's not just the thin paper.
Yeah.
But
I have archival foam board.
Yeah.
This particular piece, which is a big, real popular, this is called Playdate. And it's just a couple dogs. We affectionately call them Spike and Lewis. Spike and Lewis enjoyed their play dates at the dog park. One day a squirrel got in. The boys leapt into action. But I like these little circles that I did a layer on top of layer. A lot of little houses. And then I have birds. A lot of my birds have newspaper bellies. It's kind of cool. Now, my most recent one, I always give the birds like wheels, and I'll show you in a minute. But this one, we're getting back to the substrate. This one was done on a piece. I found a piece of cardboard in my garage, so that's what that's done on. And it's a beautiful piece. It's cool. So when I sit and have basically coffee in the morning, watch the news, I'll doodle little images like little birds. Here's the birds with the wheels up here. Fish, people flying through the air. Little houses. I've been getting really, really micro with the houses. Little birds that I'll probably put up in here. And then I'll cut them out. But for the windows, I'll do a series of windows like this. And it's simply just doing a reticulate pattern of these little windows. And then I take my colored pencil and just jump in there, different colors. So,
Larry, all your colors that aren't the color of the paper, what do you use to color them?
this, like this.
Yeah, with all those little bits on that piece of paper.
Oh, this? I have people send me markers, colored markers. I have a ton of colored pencils. Here's little trees that I'm going to incorporate in here somewhere. But on these little, I guess, apples, for argument's sake, these apples are glitter, are glitter paints. I found it at Giant Eagle at the clearance rack for $1. But they work out. I hope they hold up. I'm sure they're not archival. But
That was going to be my question, like color fast.
I'm hoping the Mod Podge keeps them. But I have pieces from 50 years ago. I have pieces from 50 years ago that are in people's houses that are still holding up. Now I'm sure if you deframe them, they're going to be faded at some degree. And I have pieces as well.
How long do you think it takes you to do these? How long do you think it takes you to do a piece?
It varies. That's the number one question. I start out going, ready, set, go. And then I just lose track, just like any of our mediums that we do. Just lose track in what we're doing and enjoying the adventure.
Do you work on one piece at a time, or do you have several going?
Yeah, I have 2 drawing tables in my studio at home, and I'll have a couple people. I had upwards of 5 pieces going at one time, but mostly one or two going. If there's a theme show coming up, and you're allowed to enter 5, 8 pieces, you're just really cranking it out. So I worked in the art community and was real active in Pittsburgh, in the Pittsburgh Artist. I was juried into Three Rivers Arts Festival the 11 years, 1971 to 1982. And that's 33 pieces that were juried into the show. And I sold every one of them. Participated in a lot of solo shows, a lot of group shows. I had a solo show called, and it was, I did this graphic of this little boy and girl, and having Italian roots. I called it Mafunzolo. It was a big hit. But see, I cut out the little windows, and I have a whole box of different windows, so they're not so much consistent like this. There's all different sizes, shapes, colors. But I was real active, like I said, and real prolific. I sold a lot. I produced a lot. I made a lot of artwork. But in 1982 was pretty much my last hurrah. I placed all my creativity on the back burner, and I started my own business. But 33 years later, I woke up from that nap, like Rip Van Winkle, grabbed a pen and a piece of paper, started drawing again. That was 10 years ago. This one is All Is Good. This one ended up selling to that collector I was saying, by my tennis courts. And it's called All Is Good. Now, this was featured in a show in Carnegie, 3rd Street Gallery. And the owner, Phil, Patty and I went to the reception. He stopped us and said, "There's some guy looking for you. There's some guy looking for you." A guy comes running up to us, and he was a reporter for the Post-Gazette. And he says, "I want to write an article about you and your positive artwork." And this was featured. He did a full page. The interview and everything took place about a week and a half. And it was a full-page article in the goodness section of the Post-Gazette. That's my 15 minutes. But it's All Is Good. The little blurb that I come up with is, "The kind alligator crawled into town, started to gobble up all the hate. When he was finished, he waddled back to the pond. All was good." And there's a lot of colored pencil stuff. Like I'll do the colored pencil drawings and then paste them on, people flying through the air, the hills with the little neighborhoods on top. This was done on a 20 by 20 gallery wrap canvas. It's like an 1.5 inches, 2 inches wide, and I decorated all 4 sides. It was awesome. It was a lot of fun to work with. I did a gallery wrap canvas for a commission for people down in, they wanted to do a tribute to their bull mastiff. So I said, you do know how I draw, don't you? And they said, "Yeah, that's what we want." And I said, "Okay." So I came up with the dog. I originally did him in blue and gave him 5 legs. We can always use an extra one, but their kids didn't like the blue, didn't like the 5 legs, so we made them more yellowish and gave him 4 legs, more resembling. But these people were world travelers, are world travelers. It wasn't uncommon for me to be talking to them in Amsterdam or Mexico, and this piece was 3 foot by 4 foot, gigantic. It's in Bethesda. And that was a gallery wrap canvas, and I did stuff on the sides. And gallery wrap canvases are pretty nice. You don't have to worry about the frames. You create your own frames. Or a lot of people paint the edges. So my collages ain't going to save the world, but it's a start, isn't it?
You must have good eyesight. Yep. See all that small detail.
You know what? People ask me about, do your hands hurt? You know, with the drawing and the illustration. I have friends that are illustrators, and they've had carpal tunnel surgeries, and I'm really fortunate. My hands are good. My eyes are okay.
I have a question for Patty. Have you ever snuck a big glue in one of the jars?
Don't answer that. What? Hey, she's my muse. And then,
do you ever have scribbles or drawings on top of the collage?
sprinkles?
Scribbles. Whatever on top of the collage, like not before it's glued, but after.
Yeah, they're all over. On these collages, there's like little scribbles, right?
Does the pen work on that
No, I draw it on a piece of paper. Like if I have a piece of printer paper that didn't work out. Yeah, it's great. Yeah. Flatten it out.
So when I paint, I never know when I'm done. With all
Right.
those little things on there, how do you know when I'm done?
No, it's you get tired. It's time for a nap.
It looks great, and then all of a sudden you're like,
Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of times I'll do a little walkway coming down off here. The black works. I'm looking for the. Is this helpful? Anybody have any tips for me?
So your look, your style is super strong. You
Is it-
see one Larry Brandstetter and you understand, do you ever experiment or do other types of art?
No. All my stuff resembles the same thing, basically.
you may try to, but it comes out the same. Is that what you're saying?
No, if I have a general theme, like the fox, like the alligator, like those row of buildings, that's the subject. Does all that look the same? Like what I showed you, was that look all the same?
But you don't ever like decide you're going to do an acrylic painting or you're going to do charcoal. Or something.
No,
Okay,
no, I do.
this is you.
Yeah, it's proven to be okay.
Yeah, that's what makes it. I can't find my style, so yeah.
Patty's my muse, by the way. Yeah, I'm still smitten.
Larry, have you ever done a purely black and white collage?
No, interesting.
Hint, hint.
Yeah. Thank you. Let me just do something on the bottom here. Incorporate those trees. Here again, I just draw a bunch of these little trees. Take out the colored pencils or the little markers. And put a fox in there. I'm into foxes lately. And road maps.
Pages and pages of those little doodle drawings that you refer back to? Or is it just like, do you have a whole lot of those? So that when you're doing a piece, you can go, oh, I think I could use this.
Oh, I have boxes, Kathy. I have boxes of little pieces of paper. The only thing I haven't used is dryer lint. Maps are great to use for backdrops. It's going good?
So Larry, do you have,
With the woman who did sculpture with dryer lint.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that.
That's great.
Yeah.
So Larry, do you have a studio in your house, or I know you often talk about sitting at the kitchen table and
Yeah, that's comfortable in the morning. Yeah, I have a studio. It's in the past when I've created some pretty nice masterpieces, I worked next to the furnace on top of the washing machine.
but now you have your 2 art tables set up.
I have, I got 2 tables, other tables with all kind of confetti and schnipples and paper all over the place. Did I forget anything? My signature. So, let me just show you a couple more collages.
Oh, that's nice.
Here's another brightly whispered, but here's a cool one. This one's called 6-Week Gig. And I'm, just accumulating. I do a lot of newspaper stuff. Oh, I have yearbooks from 1950, and I've been putting these people in there, that cursive handwriting, and there's some of the people from the 1950s yearbook, black and white, little road down here. But the birds, the red birds are glitter paper from Michaels. This particular piece was at a show, and the way they had the lighting, it looked like the glitter paper just exploded. It looked like you were flying into Vegas. It was nice. Yeah.
So Larry, what's with the wheels on birds?
These ones are cucumbers. Nothing in particular. I just don't want to draw the claws. I mean, this is more interesting, I think. I was going to do little.
If there was a meaning behind it, or
No, not at all. I have here. We all get Cheryl's cookies catalogs, don't we? There's I was going to put a little bird with these little wheels, little cookies on there for his wheels. That.
Larry, do you have any tips on how to keep all that paper and snibbles organized?
Yeah, I do. I have boxes. I have Sarah's candy boxes that are empty. And this has basically confetti and different little cuts of paper that I don't know so much on. Like there's a lot of confetti, like little dots and things like that create interest and to make your eye flow around. I have I have little punches that have stars and hearts, different size circles, and I just incorporate them all in here. My goal is to fill the page. Here's, I did this particular piece. This is Brightly Whispered. This ended up in Center City, Philadelphia. But I did this right before COVID, and I made these 5 houses, or 5 buildings, and then we got hit with COVID, so we weren't doing anything. So what I did was put people or faces that were smiling, laughing, screaming, yelling, and whatever in here. I was finding them on the computer and wherever, and I was putting them in all the windows. So each window has some sort of person in there screaming, yelling. And then the map, again, I'm using the map, and they have our 3 rivers, the Ohio, Monongahela, and the Allegheny. Same saying, same slogan, different kind of birds. This one's called Green Space. This was entered in a green show. But I did just the opposite, a red mountain with the trees and alligators and foxes and birds. Here's the birds. Now these are all drawn with colored pencil. And then the sun has a little neighborhood all around it. It's a lot of fun. It's doodling. There's no mistakes in doodling. Talking about that, I did my Micron pen, as frugal as I am. My one pens run out of ink. So what I did was take the back off, and I took Patty's fingernail polish remover, you know what I'm doing. put a drop in there. Now, when you take the cap off, you have to have a paper towel ready because there's a big blip that comes out of it. I was finished with the drawing. It was Alzheimer, dementia, kind of related, and it came with a nice saying. And it was there was a pathway coming down. One morning, I opened up my pen, and it just blipped down the pathway. So instead of, the piece was done. It's just that I was going to embellish it with a gray tone from this pen. And so what I did, instead of scrapping it, and I say that there's no mistakes in doodling, I embellished the blips. And it was entered in a show, got first place, and it ended up selling that night of the reception. So, you know, never know. This is the last one. I won't bore you. No, this is Spike and Lewis again. And it says, who says your best friend has to have two legs? And it, I call this piece Four Legs Good. And it's from Animal Farm, George Orwell's Animal Farm. Spike and Lewis again, all the little houses, the birds with like newspaper wings and bellies, all kind of little confetti. That's a good example. That's a nice piece. But talking about Spike and Lewis, I have an ink drawing that when years ago, North Hills Art Center had an animal theme. This is when I first re-entered. Now, I was a member with North Hills Art Center and Pittsburgh Society of Artists back in the 1970s. Those are the first places that I approached.
Are you going to talk about You Had Me at Wolf?
Yeah. I
have that.
Oh, do you?
I have one of the prints.
Oh, nice, good. You Had Me at Wolf. So it was an animal theme show, and I said to Patty, I said, I've never drawn animals. I usually draw these burly guys with big mustaches, and I use the mustaches as fill, and that's all pretty much I knew how to draw. So I drew these two dogs, and they were looking at each other. I brought them in, and I said to Patty, I said, what do you think? And she said, You Had Me at Wolf. And they're real cryptic dogs, nice white space with a lot of black, dark spaces behind it, grass with ground dwellers in there like ants and bugs. And in the hills on the top, it was white space versus dark space, a lot of texture, a lot of flow, a lot of energy in that piece. It hung in our house. The original hung in our house for several years. Dressler Center for the Arts had an arts animal theme show a couple years ago. And so I entered the original You Had Me at Wolf. And I entered this one. You were allowed to enter two pieces. So I entered this. The night of the reception, I didn't want to go. It was raining and everything. And they called and said, you won an award. And I said, okay. So we get in the car and go the turnpike. And there's Jersey barriers. The rain's going this way. It's pitch black. We got trucks on this side, trucks on that side. My knuckles were white. We made it up there. And they only gave out 2 awards that night. And one of them was this one. And so the judge did a critique, and it said, oh, this guy's really whimsical. He should do a coloring book or a children's book. Presentation is everything. So it was like, this guy's funny, and stuff like that, And and the other one, You Had Me at Wolf, ended up selling it. Just ripped my heart out. And anytime I sell a piece, it's just like I didn't have enough time with it, and I have to redo it. I have to do it again. And I did eventually, but didn't have the same personality, the same innocence as the original. But that one sold. This one won the prize. The other prize was a tribute to a poor dog that had passed away. Incorporated in the frame was the dog's collar. There wasn't a dry eye in the house, and here I got this cartoon,
Larry, where do you get your work printed?
The prints that I get, I use down on the south side, copies on Carson, and they've been really nice. I do my 8x10s with them, And that's just standard paper. It'll last 50 years. They'll last a long time. My actual prints, they have an artist grade paper, and I'll have when I sell a good print. So, So I want to thank you for allowing me to visit today. I create my art with joy and positive messages.
You spring up if it visited.
And I'm stealing my thunder. Yeah, wait. And I want my art to make people happy and most importantly, smile. Thank you. I just recently discovered, when I'm finished with this, to even out, like the Mod Podge ends up having like little blotches, and it's not, but what it was, I was told, somebody gave me the hint of using a polyacrylic. Minwax makes it, and it's made for, like, I guess, wood and wood products, moldings and things like that. And I take a big brush and just go over it, and I use a real flat finish, and it's awesome. Now, I know artists that use high gloss. That works. It's pretty effective as well. But I hope I encapsulated everything I do.
Thank you so much.
Is it good?
Yes.
Thank you.